Hello friends, welcome to our YouTube channel Provik Engineering and Food Processing Private Limited, and I am here your friend Anshul Jain, and today in this video we are going to discuss regarding biomass pellet. Yes, there may be many questions in your mind regarding biomass, like what is biomass pellet, how we can prepare biomass pellet from biomass step by step, and what is the future of biomass pellet. So in this entire video we are going to discuss about all these points one to one. So let's start the video. So friends, the first question which is in your mind is like, what is biomass? So anything coming from the agriculture land, anything coming from the farmer's land which can burn and can provide heat is known as the biomass, like the mustard husk, like the rice husk, the soybean husk, the napier grass, the bagasse and sawdust. These all are considered as the biomass because when these are burning inside a furnace or when we are converting these products to the pellet, they can provide a good quantum of heat compared to coal. You know very well that India is running the scarcity of coal, and the coal is the base of all power plant, all NTPC thermal plant and all furnaces running for the aluminum or iron industry throughout the India. As we can see that there is a huge dependency on coal in entire India, and that is why the current Indian government has brought in law that NTPC, all thermal plants has to reduce their coal demand by 5 to 10%, and they have to replace these coal product by biomass pellet or biomass briquette. So the biomass pellet is 1-to-1 replacement of coal. As we can see, technically the coal can provide a heat of 3200 to 3500 calorific value, and similarly the biomass pellet from mustard husk can provide you 3200 to 3600, rice husk can provide 3200, sawdust can provide 4200 to 4600, the groundnut shell can provide 4700 to 4900, and the bagasse can provide 2800 to 3200, and similarly the napier grass can provide 4000 calorific value compared to coal. So as we can see from this data that these biomass pellets which we are making from the biomass can easily replace coal and can reduce the dependency of entire nation on the coal product, and this is what we can reduce our import of coal, and so we can help in the Indian government dollar investment in import. So this is how we can reduce the dependency on coal and we can convert all these our fuel sources to the biomass pellet. The second question which was in your mind, like what is biomass pellet? So biomass pellet is nothing but a compacted product of biomass powder. Like in the machinery which we have a different machine setup to make the biomass pellet, and we process the biomass powder which is coming from the farmer's land or the sawdust, like a sawdust, we process it in the step by step to make a biomass pellet and make a compacted pellet. Like as we can see, the coal churi is always having a low GCV than the coal, because coal is solid and the coal churi or coal powder is in powder form. So whatever is there in the powder form has a low GCV, while when we convert this powder product to a compacted product by a machinery setup, then it converts to the biomass pellet, and this is how biomass pellet GCV is always more than the source material of source powder material. So the pellet is a compacted product, compacted form of any biomass raw material. So friends, now we will understand how we can make the biomass pellet from the biomass. So there are 6 to 7 steps in which we can make the biomass pellet from the biomass, and we divide biomass in two categories. One is the pure agricultural material like the mustard husk, rice husk, bagasse and soybean husk, and another category is the sawdust and the groundnut shell. So because these are two different categories, one is coming from the farmer land or agricultural land, another is coming from the as a byproduct of the another industry like the sawmill, like the groundnut shelling industry. So these are two categories. So we will discuss about entire machinery setups required for these two category of the raw material. So friends, this is the first step where we put the biomass powder inside a belt conveyor, and this belt conveyor feed this biomass powder to the hammer mill. As you can see, the hammer mill is a complete setup of like the main hammer mill machine with the complete cyclone and the dust collector setup. This machine reduces the particle sizes coming from the farmer's land or the agriculture, because in making the pellet we need a fine particle size of 7 to 8 mm. So whatever coming from the field we reduce to the 7 to 8 mm by using the pulverizer, A pulverizer is nothing but a set of sieves and the hammer which reduces the size by impacting action, by hammering action, and this pulverizer is a necessary part of the entire machinery setup, because fine will be the material, fine will be the pellet, and most compacted pellet can be made by the most fine powder. So the fine powder is an important step in this entire setup, and for that purpose we are using this hammer mill. And after hammer mill, the product comes from this cyclone to the belt conveyor, and this belt conveyor is conveying material to the sieving machine. Let's go to the next section. The fine material from the hammer mill comes to the sieving machine. This is an important step for making the pellet, because whatever is coming from the sieving machine need to be sieved very well, and the coarser material, the material which is above than the 7 to 8 mm size, will remove from the next side, and the fine material will feed to the flash dryer. You can see behind that there is a continuous setup of pipelines, and this is known as the flash dryer. Flash dryer is the fastest medium of drying the biomass or the sawdust, as it conveyed the material from one end to another end by a hot air. So while the hot air is conveyed from the furnace to that cyclone, the material is conveyed inside the hot air, and while moving from one end to another end, the moisture of the biomass raw material reduces from 60% to 10%, 60% to 15%, 40% to 50%. So we have to ensure that the moisture content of the final material which is coming from the dryer, must be between 12 to 20%. And for that, the flash dryer is an important step. In some factories we have provided the rotary dryer, and some of the factories we are providing the flash dryer. As we compare one to one, the flash dryer is a direct heating setup where we are providing raw material directly to the hot air. So in this way we are reducing indirect heating and we are promoting direct heating, and the material get dried while it is conveying from this continuous path from one end to another end, and that from that cyclone we can find the fine material which is coming with the moisture of 12 to 18% or 20%. So flash dryer is the heart of the system. The more drying will ensure the quality of the pellet, will ensure the finishing of the pellet, and will ensure the binding of the pellet. So if you want a good binding of the pellet, you need to ensure the moisture content in between 12 to 20%, and for that flash dryer is an important step. From this flash dryer, the material moves from this screw conveyor to the mixture. The mixture is an important step again, because we need to add some kind of binders like the salt DOC, like the cashew shell, like the DORB, to ensure the filling of the gaps. When we make the pellet, there are certain gaps because of the raw material. So for filling the gaps and for making the pellet more compacted, we need some kind of additives like the salt DOC, cashew nut, cashew shell, and this DORB, because these help to make the pellet more compacted. Because when we go for the monotonous raw material, the pellet is not compact, and for getting a compacted product we need to use these all additives, and also it ensures the less friction inside the machinery and the more die life. So if you want a more die life, and if you want to get a good finishing of the your pellet, you need to ensure the good additives need to be added in the mixture. From this mixture, after a mixing of 12 to 15 minutes, the material moves to this elevator setup, and from this it comes to this tank, and from this tank we provide this material to the complete continuous pellet machine, which is a yulong pellet machine. So now from this tank, the material comes to the yulong pellet machine. As you can see in behind, this is the world famous pellet machine known as the yulong pellet machine, coming from the China, and this machine has an horizontal ring die setup where it provides a best quality of pellet. The machine can run on any kind of raw material. This machine can make the pellet of mustard husk, rice husk, soybean husk, sawdust, groundnut shell, any of the raw material you can use in this machine, but you have to ensure the compression ratio, and by using the machine we can make the best quality of pellet. And further, these pellets are conveyed by this conveyor to a cooling section known as the contraflow cooler, and in this cooler we ensure to bring down the temperature of the pellet to a normal temperature, and further from this contraflow cooler the material comes from to the grader, and here we remove any kind of dust which is making inside the process, and from here we can get the final pellet. So this is how a complete setup of machinery is required to make the pellet. Not from the single machine you can make the pellet. For making a good quality of pellet, you need to ensure a complete set of machineries, which you can see from starting from the hammer mill to the counterflow. So friends, if you want to make a good quality of pellet for any kind of raw material, you need to ensure a good setup of machineries. You need not to consider any cheap machineries. Go for a full setup, and that is how you can make the best quality of the pellet. So what we have understood, a complete setup, right, from starting from the hammer mill, the sieving machine, the flash dryer, the mixture, the tanks, the pellet machine, counterflow cooler. An entire setup is required to making a best quality of pellet, and these plants are having a different variant. We are making the plants ranging from 100 kg per hour to 20 ton per hour, and if we consider a commercial plant, we are making in 3 categories. One is the 2 ton per hour, another is the 5 ton per hour, and another is the 10 ton per hour, which is a commercial plant available pan India. And if you can see, this complete setup is for the 2 ton per hour, and for this purpose a 9,000 square feet area is required. 400 HP connection is required, and you need to have 4 to 5 laborers for operating this plant, and 1 trained operator is required. So this is how a 9,000 square feet area, 400 HP connection, and 4 to 5 laborers. By using this, you can make a good quality pellet in quantum of 2 ton per hour from using the entire setup. If you want to increase the size of the plant, you have to increase the size of the machines, and using this entire setup, you can make any kind of pellet, like using mustard husk, rice husk, soybean husk, bagasse, groundnut shell, and sawdust. So friends, if you want to make a best quality of pellet, please don't go for the shortcut, go for the complete setup, because you have to ensure best quality from every machines to make the best pellet.
Be it a 9 to 10 inch woodlog or a 2-inch side chip. In order to shred it, in order to convert it into sawdust, all we need is a log eater. Now this is a log eater with a capacity of 2.5 tons per hour sawdust making. It comes with a 75 HP motor and ancillary motors and the panel, which will convert all the wood logs or the side wood cuttings, wood shavings into sawdust. Now the moisture, as you can see, of the sawdust is quite much. With the help of moisture meter, we can check. This is, as I can see, 40%. So now the sawdust 35% to 40% is the moisture that we are getting in the sawdust that we are making with the help of log eater. Somewhere it is 37%, somewhere it is 34%. Safe side, we'll call it 40%. So the sawdust that we make with the help of log eater has a moisture content of, say, 40%. Now what we do is, we take this sawdust, put it into a hammer mill. What the hammer mill does is, the moisture content of 40% is brought down to 30%. 10% moisture is reduced in the hammer mill. Also, the fineness of the sawdust from 14 mm, 16 mm, 18 mm or 20 mm to 6 mm to 8 mm. This is what a hammer mill does. So now this hammer mill has a capacity of 75 HP and has a motor capacity of 75 HP and the output capacity of 2 to 2.5 tons per hour. It comes with a cyclone, it comes with the blower, comes with the airlock. That's how it works. It's a beautiful hammer mill. It gives you an output of around 2 tons. The blower also comes with a 5 HP motor. Airlock comes with a 1.5 to 2 HP motor, and the main hammer mill consists of 75 HP motor. Hammer mill is a prerequisite after the logging. Now we move on to the next section. In the drying segment, after the hammering, the material goes directly to the dryer. Dryer is an RFD model, rotary cum flash. The heat loss is quite less. The total power on the dryer is 30 to 31 HP. The capacity is around 1.5 to 2 tons per hour of the dry material. The material that you are seeing right now is in the dried form with a capacity of 1.5 to 2.5 tons per hour as per the moisture content. If the moisture is more than 50%, the output will be around 1.5 tons. If the moisture is around 40%, the output of the dried sawdust will be 2 to 2.25 tons per hour. Now let us check the moisture of the dried sawdust. The moisture of the dried sawdust is 8 to 10 to 11. This is the moisture of the dried material. That's how we check the moisture. Now the next step is that we have to transfer this sawdust into the mixing section. In the mixing section, the sawdust is added with a couple of binders which will help the sawdust to bind itself and form the pellets. For that we need a mixer with a capacity of 2 tons, 1.2 tons per hour. It comes with a motor of 15 to 20 HP depending upon the capacity. Here the material is mixed for 5 minutes and then depending upon the capacity. Here the material is mixed for 5 minutes and then the entire mixture is passed on to the Yulong pellet mill. Yulong pellet mill XJG 560, which comes with a capacity of 1.5 to 2.25 tons per hour. Then the pellet formed are passed on to the conveyor which has fans on it to cool the pellets. Again, we can add another cooling section in front of it, and that's how we make amazing pellets, beautiful pellets with a calorific value of 4500 plus, because we have added binders to it, so the GCV is quite high. Quality, as you can see, it is amazing. All thanks to Yulong pellet mill and all the other machines that we are using. The entire setup has to be used. Everything is in-house. We are making our own sawdust. We are adding mixed binders. We are making a great mixture. Hence, we are making amazing pellets. Thank you very much.
Friends, I hope this entire video was helpful for you, because in this complete video we have shown the use of biomass, what is biomass pellet, how we can make the biomass pellet step by step from using the different machineries, and how we can replace the biomass pellet to coal. And by watching this complete video, you might have understood how to make the biomass pellet from the sawdust, mustard husk, rice husk, bagasse, groundnut shell, any kind of raw material, any kind of biomass material which is coming from the agriculture or from the sawmill, from the groundnut shell factories. So if you want more details about this plant, you can call us on 7073642737. Also, you can visit our factories which are in Kota, Pune, Banaras, Hyderabad, Guwahati and Indore. You can come to our factories, you can watch this plant live, and you can order the machineries. We are available in any kind of machinery ranging from 100 kg per hour to 20 ton per hour, and we are available pan India, and we can show you our plants running from pan India. And if you want to know more details, we can show you our running plant. And if you like this video, please subscribe our channel, please comment on this channel, please share these videos to the person who want to make the good business. Thank you so much for watching this video.